With the midterm elections just 2 weeks away, some Democrats have already started to prepare excuses to rationalize any Republican gains in Congress.
They have placed unlimited money into these races with unlimited fact, misrepresenting what the reality is.
That again was House Speaker Nancy Pelosi saying that the campaign spending will determine the election results and not voters responding to inflation, crime, chaos at the border, and general dissatisfaction with the Biden administration. Of course, speaking of the administration, they're sowing fears that the nation's election security infrastructure is vulnerable, which I find very interesting. They were dismissive of those claims made in 2020. While no actions can be ruled out from foreign adversaries, why is the administration raising the alarm now? After 2 years of positioning any criticism of our election process as simply beyond the pale. Well, join me now to discuss this and more is Congressman Chuck Fleischmann. He serves on 3 committees in the House Appropriations Committee, including the Subcommittee on Homeland Security, where he is the ranking member. He represents the 3rd Congressional District of Tennessee. Congressman, welcome back to the program.
Tony, great to be with you, sir, and thank you so much. Every year, it's an honor to receive the award personally from you. It's a real pleasure.
Well, the True Blue Award, which we give to those members of Congress who are true blue, in the sense of they stand for faith, family, and freedom, and we're grateful for your leadership and your colleagues on the Hill fighting for the things we talk about each and every day. I want to start, Chuck, with your reaction to the Biden administration warning about election interference. I find that kind of odd. They've been dismissive of those who have raised those issues going back to 2020.
This goes back to the Biden administration going from arguing the world is round to the world is flat to the world is round again. I really don't understand what they're saying right now, although, Tony, I will say this. We are preparing as Republicans for a big night in the House, a big night in the Senate, a big night in gubernatorial races, local races. We are going to do very well as a party because of the abysmal failures of the Biden-Harris administration. Tony, they have failed us morally, they have failed us politically, they have failed us internationally. They are literally in sheer chaos and hurting this country. The American people will fix it at the ballot box. No more excuses.
You know, Nancy Pelosi, I think, kind of cushioning her fall by saying the Republicans are just pouring money into these elections. And I've actually looked at that. And in most cases, the Democrats have outspent the Republican candidates, certainly on the candidate front. When you look at third-party expenditures, it's still the Democrats have an edge. The parties, the Democrat versus Republican Party, almost even, although slightly, the Democrats have a slight edge. So it's not so much about who's putting the money in. In fact, if you added the taxpayer money that the Biden administration is using to bribe voters with the student debt bailout, and even siphoning petroleum out of a strategic reserve to try to artificially keep gas prices down, I would say that the Democrats have the advantage when it comes to money. So I think it has to be something other than money that's making a difference in the way voters are shifting.
Tony, you're absolutely right again. The Democrats traditionally have had a huge advantage on money. This year, they've got an advantage. It's not as large, but their failed policies time and time again, from the inception, from the time that Joe Biden took office, went back to the White House, took out his executive pen, and has literally wreaked havoc on the domestic front. It's an outrage. And you're right. The petroleum reserve situation is something that is a reserve that is there to protect our nation. He's taking precious gallons away to try to deal with his failed energy policies. America has abundant oil, coal, and natural gas. We need to reap those benefits. It's a gift from God. It's our natural resources. The Biden administration thwarted that. Now they're trying to do the petroleum reserve. This student loan debt, I don't believe constitutionally that the executive has the right to do that. Biden has abused the executive pen time and time and time again. We need to stand up and stop that. But the American people are wise. Not everyone is as fiscally and socially conservative as I am. Thank God I represent the wonderful people of East Tennessee who love God, love our country, love our troops, love our founding fathers. But people who are even in the center are repulsed by what this administration has done. They've hurt this country domestically. They've hurt us in terms of foreign policy. Our friends don't know where we are. Our foes are taking advantage of us. We've got to fix it on November 8th.
Well, and voters are going to have the opportunity to do that. And I want to encourage people to go out and vote your values, vote biblical values when you go into the polls, into the voting booth on November the 8th. And you know, if you can vote early, go ahead and vote early if you can. Just make sure you vote. Again, folks, you can download a personalized voter guide by texting the word guide to 67742. All right, Congressman Fleischmann, I want to switch gears for just a moment because I'm going to step beyond the election. We'll see what happens on November the 8th. But good chance we're going to have a lame duck session of Congress where there could be a switch of majorities. And there's going to be a lot of things in that lame duck. I'm very concerned about that lame duck session of Congress. But one of those is the fact that the IRS commissioner's term expires just 4 days after the election. That, I think, is going to set up a pretty strong nomination fight, given the fact that all of this money was just given to the IRS to hire 87,000 new employees. What do you think might happen in that lame duck session?
Well, I share your concerns, Tony, on a host of issues, because when the Democrats lose, and they will lose, in that short window of opportunity where they will still have all three branches for a couple of months, they will basically try to do things that they could not do before this time. So I share your concern. This is what I think about the IRS. The bill that was passed, and I railed against the Democratic majority on the House floor. I challenged them. I said that bill was wrong then, it's wrong now. We need to reverse that bill. That's ridiculous. 80,000 more IRS agents. I believe in the American taxpayer, not the IRS. Having said that, the commissioner should have already had a nomination by now. This is something that the executive branch, the president, should put forth. He has not done that. The Senate will have to confirm this person. And I just don't know why that Joe Biden has not put forth any names. Again, is leaving this country in a very vulnerable situation after they champion the IRS, which I think is ridiculous and outrageous. And of course, when I challenge them on the floor, they actually embrace the IRS over the American taxpayer. Shocking. But we need a nomination. We need the Senate to sit down and do this. And of course, it will be for a 5-year term. And this person will respond to actually the Secretary of the Treasury, will answer to that person. Long overdue, another miscue from Joe Biden.
Well, Congressman, we're up against the break, so we're going to have to leave it there, but always great to see you. Thanks so much for taking time out to join us today.
Tony, God bless you, and God bless what you're doing for our great country.